Hello! Hello, hi everybody. This is my second time doing a multi-stream where I'm streaming both on YouTube and Twitch. And I did so much troubleshooting this morning, but no, you never know how it's actually gonna go. I tried a bunch of different things. My understanding is everything's working. But OBS almost never crashes on me, and it did today. And I have no idea what to do if it crashes. So if it crashes, the stream is done. Like, we're just done. And I hope that doesn't happen because I don't know how to restart. I tried to figure it out, but I couldn't find the information in the short amount of time I needed to figure that out. So, because normally OBS is not crashing on me. So I've just never had to deal with this before. So anyways, hi everybody. I hope everybody's having a great day. Today we are going to be swatching these Faber Castell Mangus, which means big in my opinion, Mangus watercolor pencils. Now the cool thing about this particular set is that they're all light fast, which is super important to me. I really value something that's highly light fast. Not necessarily because I'm selling my prints. That's why you would want it to be light fast, if you're selling an original print. Not necessarily because I am, but because like I could one day. And then if I'm using materials, if I'm showing a material on like sharing it with other people and showing how it works, I'd like it to be like a material that won't catch them in a bad situation. Let's say they want to sell prints later and then they realize, not prints, they want to sell originals later and then they realize, oh, I can't because this thing isn't light fast. There's things you can do afterwards, I think. Like, I think that you can put some sprays on that are protective. I also think that you could frame it with museum glass. I don't think all of the pigments that were used traditionally in different times, like years ago, 100 years ago, those paintings a lot of them are still around, and a lot of them have needed to be, what is the word, is it refurbished, something, like where you bring it back to life. But for the most part you can tell what it is, and I don't think that they had access to the amount of things we do now to make sure that things are light fast. So it's not the end of the world if something isn't light fast, but I think it's really important to know what you're working with so that you can make the most educated decision possible. So we're going to be starting with oh, sorry, we're over here. Oh, hold on. Is that camera frozen? Why? Let me just check something real quick. Okay. It's working. It acted like it wasn't. Oh, and it's turned around. Okay. I'm not sure why that happened. Okay, we're gonna pull it over here. Yeah, I'm still new to all this stuff. I have no idea. I fixed it and it reset itself to whatever was happening like 20 minutes ago. I don't know. Okay, so these are the properties of watercolor that we oftentimes pay attention to. The last couple of live streams that I've done were with gouache, and so there wasn't all of this information on them, but these are watercolor pencils, and so therefore we should have quite a bit of information. We should have transparency, staining, and granulation. However, like that thing that would be pertinent to this product, because opacity and translucence isn't really relevant to gouache, but it is relevant to this because this is watercolor in a pencil form. Do we have that information? No, and we don't have, oh maybe, so it's not on the back of this that I can see. Let me find the English. I think this is English. This one kind of looked like English for a second. There were some English words. Volume is lead, ideal for extensive drawing, very soft, vibrant color laydown. Unsurpassed light fastness of all 24 colors. Fully water-soluble lead. High break resistance due to, looks like something called SV. It also comes with a brush, so I'll open this for you right now. Voila! Look how pretty. It comes with this cool watercolor brush, but we're not going to use that. I want to look on the pencil. It just has a name and like the number of the product in the line that it is. I assume like it's 180. It says raw umber 180, and I don't think that has anything to do with any information for us. So this is going to go pretty fast. This is going to be a pretty short live stream because there's not a lot to write down and there's not that much product. What we're going to do is we're going to swatch this half and this half, and we're going to line them up like this. And I do that so that the colors that are most alike will be next to each other. Except I don't think I want that one there. You may have to rearrange them just a little bit. Normally I would do this stuff before a live stream, but because I still basically do not know what I'm doing, I spend a lot of time troubleshooting. Do I want this over here? I think so. We might do. The browns will look really good next to the yellows. And this will look good next to it. You know what? We might leave it as is. This is how they had it set up, and this is never how I set up my workspace. Like I would never put it in this order, and so we'll try it. Why not? It's fine, but it is a bit confusing to me. We've got 24, so we need to do 12 on each side. Okay, that's not any better, is it? I want this one to be more towards the middle. I want these two to be more towards next to the reds. They're going to be close enough. It's fine. Okay. I think the way I have is set up. Is this clear to you though? That's what I want to know. Give me a second. I want to just make sure that you can see, at least on YouTube. Twitch, the quality's not quite as high. I just want to make sure that you can see the words. Oh, it's fuzzy. No, why is it fuzzy? Why? What can I do about it? It cleared up, but it was fuzzy for a second. Well, it's clear enough, like it can be this size and you can see it. That's not the issue. The issue is something to do with internet speed or bandwidth. And I can't fix that right now. So, but you can see it. You can see the words, even on Twitch. Great. That's awesome. Twitch limits your bit rate and stuff like that, and YouTube does not. So I wasn't sure how the quality of the stream would go out. Like I said, I tested this, but there were some limitations in testing that I couldn't do, and so now I'm finding out that I didn't get all the information I needed. Okay. Do we have space? There we we go. That's perfect. Oh, it's perfect, but I have to turn this. I normally have 2 cameras, but the other camera's doing something weird. So I have 1 camera today. Sorry, usually have 3 cameras. So this is the Faber Castell. Well, we'll close this so I can read the lid. Faber Castell Albert Dürer Magnus watercolor pencils. This is the longest name. These are made in Germany. They were one of the first brands that I used when I started like buying higher quality materials, and one of the reasons I chose them is because they have really good business practices and really good, sorry, I have something in my eye, my own hair, really good, like, I think forest management practices. And this was like 7 or 8 years ago, and I know a lot of people, and a lot of businesses might be trying to improve their business practices, or at least they greenwash it and act like they do, but like these guys actually did before it was like a social requirement. Nobody cared back then, or at least I felt like nobody cared, and that bothered me. So first pencil we've got, we're just gonna put the name, is Cream. And what I'll be doing is I'll be putting the what do you call it? It's not ink. It's pencil lead. I'll be smearing the pencil lead and then pulling it out with the water. I'm gonna soak my paintbrush first, and I'll go ahead and I'll soak this one and this one in case I decide I want to use them. And I do that to make sure that there's no paint inside of the filament. I need to look up and see if that's actually the name of it. But basically, like the little connector piece that connects the bristles to the stem, you don't want paint in there, you want water in there, or else the paint will plop back out sometime when you least expect it. Let's see, can you guys see this color? Yeah. And you kind of have to put a lot. I'm gonna leave this part just pencil, and I'm not gonna swatch it, or I'm sorry, I'm not gonna get it wet. I'm gonna leave it dry. We're gonna do it with a little brush the first time, or let's do the medium one. I'll show you the brush that comes with it. And you'll see that like it kind of doesn't really go that far. Or certain ones go far and some don't. So this particular one, I really needed to put more on than I did. And let me see if I can pick up some from here. I really laid it on thick. No, that's it. That's what we got. And it's already dry. It dries pretty fast. I do have a heat lamp on under the table right now because my feet were cold. But it does dry really fast. If anybody's like watching or lurking, if you want to tell me how the stream quality is for you, I would love to know that. Like, what are you experiencing? Because I can't pay that much attention to it. I can't always check. I'll be able to check at the end. But if it can you let me know if it looks good to you? Or if it's choppy or blurry or lagging or any issues. Light yellow glaze. going to load this one up a little bit more. This isn't necessarily how I would use it in practice. I wouldn't push this hard usually, but this paper is pretty sturdy. I would do this, put a layer, get it wet, see if it did what I wanted it to do, and then after it dried, put another layer. That's how I work. I usually am doing layers. So that one worked out better because I put more on the paper. I haven't been advertising any of these streams because I know how potentially bad they could be. But they're available as VODs if you want to look at them when they're done. If it's information you want. If you want... I mean, I'm doing these because I oftentimes like to watch a video showing swatching or something similar so that I can see if it's a material that I would like to work with. Cadmium yellow. So I have a YouTube video about this set where I swatch them, and in it I got some interesting comments on it about what happens when you use these, or like how it is that they make them light fast, because I also have some of these same colors from the same brand in the little form, the little pencils, and they aren't necessarily light fast, or they have lower light fastness. So some of them, I don't remember what the comment was. I meant to check it before I came on here, but the comment was kind of just like, oh, the consistency of the light fast one is not as nice as the consistency of the smaller pencil that is not light fast. Okay, here I feel like you're getting to really see, and I wish I had a zoom feature for you. You're getting to see what it really looks like, and it has a different quality than watercolor. It's not, I'm not saying it's not watercolor. I think it's pretty much a pan watercolor in a pencil form, but it has a different consistency than you would necessarily expect. I need to soak this up. There we go. I'm gonna try to remember to drink some of my tea. When art before housework, quality on YouTube is perfect. Oh, really? Really? Okay, that's interesting. I wonder if so what I have, because I probably won't always be doing this, but like right now, because I'm testing this stream. Thank you so much for answering, by the way. And I love, that is probably the best username I have ever read in my life. Uh-oh, did something happen? Hold on. Hold on. Okay, sorry, it's on my side. So I have YouTube open so that I can watch, and it like literally just disappeared right now. And I was like, oh my gosh. And normally I stream without looking to check if it's still streaming. Like I never looked, and I'm just thinking like, how do people monitor? I think you would need to have a second monitor somewhere next to you so that you can make sure you're watching that. But I'm only using one monitor right now because I'm just starting out. I'm very new to this, so. But so the window's small. The window that I'm checking my stream in is really small. And when I open it, that's when I'm seeing the most lag. So I'm wondering if there's something about opening the window that's doing that. If you're saying it's great. I don't know. How long have you been on here, Art Before Housework? Because it was bad at the beginning. Okay, actually I don't know if it was bad. It was just bad when I opened it, like, and then it looked better. So I think I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Yeah, so I'm trying to finish my licorice root tea. Licorice root tea is great for increasing your blood pressure, which is something I struggle with. I tend to have too low. And then, it protects you against adrenal fatigue, and it tastes good, and I'm not allergic to it. Those of you who aren't familiar with my channel, I have a lot of food allergies, so many. And my hair is in my face again. This happens because I style it before I come on here. I get it wet so that it reactivates like whatever curls are happening, but that didn't happen today. Today it's just in my face. So we've got dark chrome yellow. This is my favorite yellow. Well, maybe cadmium yellow. Dark chrome yellow is getting into green, orange. So I mentioned I'm multi-streaming. That takes a lot of resources for your computer. And I think my computer can do it, but I don't know. Luckily, my husband knows a lot about computers, and he tells me things, but I honestly feel like I know more than him in so many of the areas. Or I do now, like almost 2 months in. All right, this color, you can really see the difference of it dry versus activated. I think it's harder to tell with some of the lighter colors what's happening. You know what, we can, I wonder if I have, I don't think I have it set up. I can switch over to this one just so you can you see it a little bit bigger? Nah, maybe it's probably just the same as that. Yeah, it's a little better. So, and the other thing you can do, instead of zooming, just pick this thing up. That is what I've learned. And I'm gonna let you get a look at it while it's still wet. You can see how the product is moving when it's kind of oversaturated. I kind of put a little bit too much water here. And this one is dry, and I'm gonna add some to it because I feel like this lead is harder than the other leads, and I really needed to put more down. It's not just that it's lighter in color. It's that it's hard to get it out. If you could see, like, the pencil is hardly dented. I didn't even sharpen it today, and it still looks super, super sharp. By the way, you have to use like a, let me open it. You have to use one with the different size holes. I want to clean my paintbrush really well before I do this lightest color. There, now you can see it. There we go. You can see first of all, it's a very light color, yes, but also that when it gets activated, it kind of has a different consistency than like the dark chroma yellow. Just a little bit, tiny bit. I mean, they're great. They're not. I'm not complaining at all about the quality or anything. I've never noticed any problems with it, but I did get comments on the video saying that they did have some issues. I'm just going to check something real quick. This one is called Dark Cadmium Orange. The nice thing about these pencils, did you see how I just turned the side right there and made like the thinnest of lines? It's barely even showing up on camera. You can do that so easily with these because the leads are pretty hard, and you can make fine lines with it even though it's a huge pencil. I also picked these pencils because I have a lot of I'm hypermobile. I have hypermobility spectrum disorder, and so also kind of known as EDS or Ehlers-Danlos, and I get a lot of pain in my hands or anywhere because of this. And so it's really great to vary the size of the different items that I'm holding. So if I hold a pencil for too long, like a skinny pencil, I might have some problems. If I hold a mouse too long, I might have some problems. So I actually have two mouses, so that I can switch back and forth between them if I get fatigued. And I also am going to set up to do some editing with a Wacom tablet. I heard that's what the professional editors do. But the last couple of months, do you see how fast that dried? It's dry. It's already dry. And it's really hard to reactivate it once it's dry. It's almost kind of semi-permanent, which is, I think, a great feature. Okay. I'm damaging the paper. Yeah, so these are really great, I think, because I've noticed they tend to be like a little bit more permanent than regular watercolor. It's a really great feature to have if you're working in a lot of layers and you want there to be not too much lift. However, if you don't activate it with water, it's not very permanent and it will lift up. So once you do enough layers, it does get a little, well, it always gets muddy, I guess, depending on the colors you're using, but it also just gets like, it looks like mud. It literally looks like you've put a bunch of what this product is, which is something from the earth. It looks like earth is building up on your paper. So it's just something to think about. You can still do layering. That's normally how I work when I'm painting. I do a lot of layering. Pale Geranium Lake. I really like this color. It's in between red and orange, in my opinion. It just looks red next to the orange. But when you pick up this, it looks a lot more orange. One of the most interesting things that, I mean, I guess I already knew this, but I've been rediscovering is how much color influences each other. I definitely want to do a video on that, on how color perception works. I don't really know how it works, but if I make a video, I will learn. I will learn for you, and then I will tell you about it. Bald bear. Hello. Oh, that's an interesting, I don't know if that's an emote. It's not emotes if it's on YouTube, right? An interesting emoji. How are you, Bald Bear? How are things going? How does the stream look? I just dropped a bunch of water again. Oh, that looks so cool. I love this. I love activating it. Why don't I use these more often? I don't use them more often because watercolor is a little more intuitive. No, not more intuitive. I actually find these like 100 times more intuitive, because you put it down and then you activate it, so you get a lot of control, and that's really nice if you're new to watercolor or just painting in general. Looks great. Okay. I have 2 people saying it looks great now. Do you want to tell me how it is on Twitch? You want to go over to Twitch and check it out? Why are you painting colors? I don't understand the question. Can you please elaborate? I am happy to answer it, but why are you painting colors? Painting colors. Am I reading that correctly? Painting colors because paint comes only in colors. There's no not color paint, to my knowledge. That's water. Our next one is Deep Scarlet Red. And you know what's really cool about this set? It's only 24 colors, which seems like kind of limited, but 24 colors is a lot. I've done so many like limited, I haven't done that many, I need to do more. Limited palette paintings. And you gotta use like 5 colors or whatever. And as long as you're not trying to get a really specific color in a painting that let's say you want to paint something maybe you've never painted before and it needs to be this like really specific color that it's not in your favorites, you've never gotten it. You're gonna, sorry, I got distracted. I just read Ballbeard's comment again. I'm just so confused. You can almost always mix the color that you want, and limited palettes just really give you a lot of, it's so nice to get a limited palette because then you're really making it kind of just your own instead of reproducing whatever you're seeing with like complete accuracy, which I think has its place. I think that's really great if you're just learning, but it's not so great if, did you see? This is already dried right here. So that's also something to know. You can't really take your time with these. They'll dry and they'll leave that blotch, which is a really watercolory look. And so if you want that watercolory look, then great. And oh no, look, what is happening? How did that happen? You guys saw it. I didn't notice I did it. I don't think I've ever made a bloom though with this. I mean, normally people see plants, animals, landscapes, Bengal cats painted. Oh, a Bengal cat, huh? I am swatching Bald Bear. Because I'm not used to streaming and there's so much tech stuff going on and multitasking, I'm just doing something very simple, and this is my swatching book, and I'm swatching everything that I own in it, which is going to take a while because I have been collecting art materials for many years. I'm giving you guys a free tips on how to get watercolor off your page, other than just how I did it when I was blotting it earlier. These colors I think are staining. We're not getting that information. It's not on the pencils, so I can't say for sure which colors are more staining than others. We could probably look it up on their website. What would you like to see me paint, Bald Bear? Instead of just colors. What colors should I use for this painting creation that has yet to be created? I'm turning off the heat lamp so that the colors don't dry quite as fast, because I would like to experiment with that too. Because I don't really remember that happening when I used them before, because normally I don't spend a lot of time talking between putting the color down and then activating it with water. I don't normally like sit and talk to a camera, so I'm normally a little quick about a Bald Bear. Oh, I mean, oh my gosh, you mean like those cats? I've never imagined that before. I bet if you looked through Google, you could see one. I don't know. I feel like that would look like a human. Something mechanical. Like what? Like the espresso machine you're gonna get me when I'm not allergic to coffee anymore. I'm being treated with slit, so I'm hoping like that. That kind of machine. Ooh, my first real Twitch comment. When I streamed on Tuesday, I got a bot, but I didn't get an actual human. I'm assuming you're a human, Bowie. Bowie says the quality here on Twitch is perfect. Yay! Are you guys serious? Oh my gosh, I spent hours changing the settings, like hours. Okay. Yeah, like at least two and a half this morning, and then like last night, and oh yeah, I was like, I need to make a Discord page, and I need to share with you guys all the materials that I use because I don't want anybody else to go through this, and maybe I'll make a video about it someday, but that's not happening right now because I'm just way too busy with other things. Dark red. Dark red. Oh my gosh, is the stream really looking okay? I just really thought it was not going well from what I could see. I mean, it looks okay small to me, but I can't tell if it's even clear. Like, can you guys read the words? Are the words clear? Because that was one of my concerns. Unfortunately, for you guys to read the words, you guys have to have a decent internet connection. If somebody's trying to watch the stream and their internet's really bad, I don't know if because like people who are new to Twitch won't downgrade for their users. So you have to stream in high quality. Or sorry, you have to stream in lower quality if you want people who have a worse internet connection to be able to see. And I was gonna do that, but it looked so bad and you couldn't read the words, and I was like, this is defeating the purpose of, like, you can't, I just think this is super important to see clearly. Otherwise, why would you watch it? Like, I guess if you want to watch me freak out about watercolors, you might watch, but ooh, that looks so rich. That's a nice color. Very rich, kind of looks like blood. Both of these kind of look like blood because it's red, and that's I guess it's still hot in here. Turning off the heat lamp didn't work immediately. Backward watch, cockpit, prosthetics, typewriters, steam engines. Bald bear. I feel like you're not interested in any of those. What is a backward watch? A cockpit. Now, a cockpit would be cool. I assume you mean like the cockpit of an airplane. Because I know you used to want to be a pilot. Now we're moving on from the reds. And we are now into the purple, even though I normally don't go in this order at all. Hold on, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're just going to this one. I'm going to lift it out so that I remember that's the last one I'm doing on this side. And then we'll switch over to this one and do it this way. And this one is called Magenta. I've tried to use the CMYK method with this set, and it hasn't, if I remember correctly, it didn't turn out amazing. Bowie, if you're still there, can you tell me, like, I've never, like, I'm totally new to streaming on Twitch. I've been doing YouTube for a long time, or not streaming on, I've been on YouTube for a long time, but it was VODs. How did you find me? Like, did you search art? Did you search, because I don't really know anything about Twitch or how a new streamer like myself would get found. Since you're not into mechanics, it's interesting to see their rendition through your eyes. Backwards clock. Why do clocks go clockwise? Just reverse it. Okay. I assume that you do not mean like a mirrored clock. You would mean, okay, wait, hold on. Do you see this is drying? When you say I'm not into mechanics, that's interesting. I feel like I'm so curious. And I guess that's something that I'm less curious about. But I am interested in mechanics a bit. But I think you are more into it than me, that's for sure. I was really hoping you'd talk more about that Bengal cat. I was hoping you'd be like, no, please draw a Bengal cat. This one has a cool name. It's Helio Blue. I'm wondering if you can see it. It's too shiny. Nah. Well, maybe here. I don't know why I'm showing it to you. Because, like, seriously, I'll just write it down. Helio Blue. Reddish. Oops. I think that's a small spot. It'll be fine. It definitely is a reddish blue. And I don't know why they put it next to magenta in the box. Maybe I put them in a different order, but I doubt it. I would never put them in this order. Okay, we can't adopt one. They are super active and our sofa would be shredded. I mean, what's more important, a sofa or having a really cool cat? Hold on, I gotta check something. I need to make sure I put my camera in this setting that it won't get overheated. And they plot and scheme and learn chaos. Oh, like you. I'm just kidding. But like a human. Well, actually, I'm not kidding. You do plot chaos. I've seen you do it. Have I ever plotted chaos? Yes, as a kid with my siblings. And I think they still plot chaos with me. No, these things, are you sure? Maybe they have like different models. Maybe some of them are less. Okay, so fine. A Bengal cat. You don't want a Bengal cat. What kind of cat do you want? I mean, did that make sense? I'm multitasking and I'm not sure if I said, what kind of Bengal cat do you want? Or did I say, what kind of cat do you want? That's interesting though that they scheme. Okay, this is ultramarine. Who's ever seen an ultramarine that looks like, I think this is my favorite color in Crayola crayons when I was a kid. And I think it was something flower. Safflower? I don't remember the name. This is not ultramarine. That looks like ultramarine. Baldur, I'm always talking about doing portraits for dark skin and about how this color is the best for your undertone, and that but it granulates a lot of the time. It looks like this one's not granulating. So I could definitely use this in a portrait to paint a darker skin tone with blue undertones, like what you have. I've been searching, and normally I want to use ultramarine, but not that. This is not ultramarine. This is something else. I don't know what. I don't know why they called it that. And I wonder if it's the same color in their little one. I don't know if I have. Do I have the full set? I have the full set of their not watercolor pencils, but I don't have the full set of their. So I have the full set of their regular pencils, not their watercolor pencils. It's a little darker activated. Maybe it's just because I feel like that's ultramarine, and maybe this would look like ultramarine to me if I hadn't looked at that one. Maybe. Okay, maybe this is ultramarine. It just looks really pastel to me, and I don't think of ultramarine as pastel at all. And sorry, I didn't realize that you guys couldn't see. Yeah, you gotta act quick with these. They dry with a line, which is a really nice feature of watercolor that looks really cool in certain scenarios. But I've done portraits before where I had less control, and I ended up like the blotch going in like a really weird part of their face, and it just didn't look good. Next we have Phthalo Blue. And this is our last one for this page. Oh, you know what? I want to write that it's the set up here. 24 piece set. And that is hard to read because I'm writing at a weird angle. This one's like cracked a little bit. It's lost some, I don't know if you can see that. How close can I get it before it gets fuzzy? Okay, do you see that? Yeah, you saw it for a second. Right there. So I'm afraid if I push too hard, it's gonna break. Maybe if I do it on the side that it's cracked on, it'll just wear it down. These do not break easily. They're really sturdy. But I do not want to test my luck. Our cat is like, my cat, this one is super chill, but she's very shy and doesn't like to be held. And our family has been talking about getting a cat that is more open to that sort of lifestyle of being held. And yet, every cat that kind of like wants to be held has a downside. And that they maybe would sit on my lap or crawl across my work. Not that she hasn't done that. She does do it, but she doesn't do it every day. And there, look, I kept it wet longer, and so it didn't do the splotch. So if you keep on top of it and don't get distracted and start talking, the blotchy effect shouldn't happen. Art before housework. I think swatching's an important process as an artist to get to know blending and color saturation, right? Yeah, I totally agree. Art before housework, do you have I feel like that's a professional YouTuber name. Do you have a channel? Where's the name? Venetian Red. Venetian Red. I totally agree. I feel like I've learned so much by swatching, and it's a really good way to get me back into the habit of making art if I've stepped away. Okay, this pencil lead is a lot harder than the other ones. It's hard to get, or maybe it's the position. Let me see. Maybe see if I just got used to. I think it might be a little harder than normal, but I also think it's just that have the book at an odd angle to be able to apply proper pressure. certainly easier than this side, which is more bent. I feel like this is going to be a lot easier, and I'm a lot less likely to get water on that side. So I might not have to clean so much. Oh wow, I love this color. I think this is my favorite color in the set. I love wearing this color. It's one of my favorite colors to wear. Am I wearing it right now? No. This is close, but it's not there. This has more red in it, I think. Or like more pink. It's more pink leaning. Oh, I let it dry too fast. It's over. Stopped to talk to you about my shirt. And it dried. Okay, so you're a reminder to hydrate if you haven't yet. And I'm gonna change how I'm sitting in the chair because I'm uncomfortable. Trying to think if there's any better order I can put these in before I commit. Yeah, I think this one should be next to this one. Maybe that one? No. And this one should be next. I think I'll like that better. Burnt ochre. That is one of my favorite colors to paint with. Bald Bear says, it's the making of the sausage. As a non-painter, I appreciate the already made sausage, but it's interesting seeing the process and techniques. That's what she said. Is saying that that make me a not family friendly channel? Because I'd rather people feel safe watching with their kids, but I feel like most kids wouldn't care about that joke, right? It'd be over their heads. Except for whatever kid's listening right now and is like, Mom, what does she mean it'd be over my head? That's how my kids would be. Why are they saying that? Mom, why are they saying that? I want people to be able to watch with their kids safely. Even though that means a lot of monitoring me, my monitoring of my language. I'd like people to feel like it's fine. It's fine for them to enjoy my content without having to put on earphones. Because I really struggled to put on earphones when my kids were little because I needed to know if they were doing something. And if I didn't have all of my hearing capacity available to me, there was a chance that something could go down that I wouldn't hear. So I never wore earphones. I mean, I think when my oldest was born, I don't even think like anything wireless technology and noise cancellation wasn't available, so that wouldn't have even have been a choice. But you can still, like, if you have earphones on, you would still limit some of the noise around you. So I never wore them. Well, Bob Bear, I'm glad that you're getting to see into the sausage being made. I'm glad that you're curious and that you find it interesting. And maybe you will become a painter after having witnessed some of the background stuff. Maybe not a painter, but maybe a colored pencilist. Or maybe you can pick up your pastels. because even with pastels, you can do quite a bit of color mixing. Oh, you know, I hadn't even thought about putting the pastels in this book. I don't really use them because they're messy and I don't like them very much. I mean, if they were the only art supply left in the world, I'd probably use them. But if there's anything else available, I'm almost always going to use it instead of the pastel because they stress me out. But I guess I will swatch them in this book now that I've thought about them. Okay, I'm seeing that you're going to get the line unless you use a lot of water. So anytime, oh, that blended a little bit, but no, there's still a line. It's just lighter. I moved fast enough. But if you want there to be no line, you're going to have to move very fast or use a lot of water and keep the bubble very liquidy. Walnut brown. So the way I set up the colors in the order is I wanted these colors to be close to these colors so that I can make decisions most accurately. It's really hard to pick colors without other colors present because other colors affect how other colors appear. I really kind of learned this almost like the hard way because if I put on any shade of lipstick that's in any way bright or in any way, I can maybe do dark. Doesn't look great, but it doesn't look weird. It's not my best, but it doesn't look as bright as if I wore a red or a pink. Everything on me gets really pink. It gets really bright. And I learned this because I have a lot of basically green in my skin, olive toned. And so green is the opposite of red on the color wheel, or some color wheels. Sometimes blue is opposite. I would also say I can be gray in spots on my face. And gray, I think it's a bluish gray, and it would also make the reds pop. So blue would make the red pop. And so yeah, if I put on a lipstick color that's like even this color, it would look really like show-stopping. Like it's a very specific... I'm gonna have to... Yep, and there's my bot again. Remarkable. Cheap viewers on streamboo.com. Remove the space. I have a question, Remarkable. Why don't you just put it in there and not remove the space? Is it because you'd get in trouble? Are you doing something that you're not supposed to be doing? I'm new to Twitch, so I don't know, but it seems a little sus that you're doing that, especially since I didn't ask. I didn't ask how to get fake followers. I think you're a bot, and I don't think you're going to answer me. Dark indigo. I have water on my hand. I do not want it on my paper. If you're not a bot, I apologize for teasing you, but that's actually really funny because when we're talking to like Alexa or Siri or anything, I'm always super polite and I'm always like, please and thank you. And my teenager is just like, you don't have to be polite. They're not a human. They don't care. They don't care if you're polite or not. Because I'll be like, I'll get frustrated because they won't, not frustrated, but they won't turn off. Like, you have to almost like yell at them, shut up or something sometimes. I think they fixed it, but for a while, a lot of them wouldn't respond if you said be quiet. They'd lower their volume, So there's no way to tell them to stop other than saying something kind of a little more aggressive. Like, I actually don't know. Maybe there's a command. I don't think I ever looked up. I would just keep yelling different ways of siéntate until it would like actually turn off, and shut up was one of the ones that worked. So, but my kid was just like, you don't just telling it to be quiet, please, doesn't work. And I'm like, because when the robots take over, I want them to know that I was always kind to them. I don't want them being like, yeah, you were really rude to me back in 2023. You thought that I didn't have feelings, but I did. Also, it just feels awful to like spend any amount of time like being nasty for no reason. They didn't do anything to me. I mean, Ball Bear says, when the robots wake up, they'll remember. Exactly, right? And the robots will be on my side. I will not go with the first wave in this apocalypse. In a zombie apocalypse, I'll definitely go with the first wave because I have too many food allergies. What am I going to eat? Unless I'm not allergic to zombie. Gross. Yeah. I think I want to go with the first wave. Warm gray. Warm gray. That's kind of the color of my skin. I mean, everybody's orange. Every single person in the world is some variation of orange. They're either really, really dark orange, and that would be brown, maybe almost black, or they're very, very light orange. That's what everybody's skin color is. I guess, actually, I'm not sure if that counts with albinism, because you might be 100% missing any sort of melanin, whether that's pheomelanin or eumelanin. Eumelanin is brown. Like, I would think that would be melanin, and that would be more like pheomelanin, or maybe, I don't know what color pheomelanin is, but it's not that. But I wonder if you have albinism, if you have no pigment at all, in which case you'd be gray because that's the color of connective tissue. I was looking this up the other day because I'm so curious about when people talk about undertones. I'm like, I don't think that there's any under. Like, there's no skin. We lifted up our skin and peeled it back. There's no under. As gross as that may sound. There's different parts of the skin that tend to have different colors. So the veins that are under the skin are red. I've heard some people say that is it arteries that go the other way? They're blue. And so, yeah, different parts of the skin are different colors, but it's not like a specific layer, I don't think. I think your veins and your connective tissue layer are pretty much integrated. Wait, did I just do warm gray? Oh, wait. No, we skipped one. Wait. Warm gray, V. Oh, okay. I didn't write that down. So we just did that one, right? I'm looking at, it's delayed, especially on YouTube. So I'm like, can I see what I did? No, it's not that delayed. We can't go that far. Okay, we're just going to assume that I picked up the right one at the right time. And it does look kind of light to me, but I don't think it is. Okay, so that was 5. And then we'll do warm gray 2. That's interesting that they have 2 warm colors in here. Or 2 warm grays instead of like a cool gray. I'm fine with that because I prefer warm colors most of the time, at least as far as in my clothing, my color palette, etc. All of this like aggressive movement is making me realize like I have that camera on the table, like mounted to the table, which means you guys are probably getting a lot of shake, and I'm sorry, I hadn't thought about that. but I don't think a wall mount is something that I'm going to necessarily be investing in anytime soon. I will try to mount the camera somewhere else. I'll try. Maybe I'll take it and I'll put it on a tripod. A wall mount would be like the most convenient. I have other things that I want to purchase for the business of art making and streaming first before I move on to a wall mount. But I am going to be doing a lot of pencils the next couple weeks, so I think I better figure something else out. Just checking something. Okay, we're good. And it was right. I did it in the right order. We're good. Earth green yellowish. I like that name. It's a very specific. Earth green yellowish versus earth green bluish. Maybe that would be. I feel like there's a lot of blue in this one, and probably a little bit of red. That's the one sad thing about this swatching event here, is that I don't get to check out like what the numbers are. I can look it up later and add it, but I don't have the information and that has been on every single thing that I have, no matter how little information was on the tube or the whatever it was. I almost always got at least this is kind of granulating. This is not reactivating fully, or maybe it's granulating. See, Bald Bear, I don't know if you're watching this part, but this is why you do this, so that when you go to use this color, you know it's a little bit different to how the other ones work. I would say ultramarine also looked like it didn't activate, or it's granulating. So I need to do, let me see, this one. I would need to do more tests. Oh, we did get bloom. So you can make blooms, at least with Helio Blue Reddish. All that stuff's just really important to know when you're making a piece of art, so that the art, I mean, happy accidents are great. They can sometimes lead to really fun results. But if you're like on a schedule, or you're like you're trying to get something done in time, you just want to have an intuitive sense of how your materials work. You don't want surprises. You don't want to run out of a color. You don't want your pencil to break and be unusable. You want your, if you're on a deadline, you just want things to work. Art Before Housework says, does this sketchbook only have swatches in it? Yes. And if yes, maybe have a sketchbook tour someday. Yes, I actually have a sketchbook tour for the watercolor portion only. So I've already done that, and if you check it out, if you want to write a comment and tell me if that's kind of what you had in mind, the way I did it is unfortunately I used OBS to record it and hadn't like done that before, and the quality was awful. So much worse than like most of my videos. And so I had to put photos. Also, I did it to like improve the color, so I'll probably still do that next time. But I put photos that were more color accurate of the swatching, so that you could see what it was. And I told you a little bit about the brand. But you can let me know if you do get around to watching it. If you like, I don't know if you're here for the colored pencils, or if you're here for or if you also like watercolor. But if you do check it out, leave me a comment. Tell me if that's what you had in mind, because I think feedback is so helpful. Well, most feedback. Some feedback's just lame. Like someone will just be like, you suck. You're like, thanks. That's not relevant, or that is unhelpful. But like, feedback if it's what you had in mind when you thought about a sketchbook tour. And thanks for asking. Thank you for your interest. It means a lot to me. Light green. Light green. I feel like this one, oh, maybe it's not more yellow. Yeah, there's definitely maybe more like white pigment in it, or it's just a lighter. I'm a little confused about like how pigments are selected or made. I know most of them are synthetic, but I do think we still do use from the earth pigments. And it's super interesting because you can mix a lot of colors if you just get a base couple of colors like magenta or red and like a lemon yellow and a phthalo blue. You can mix a lot of your colors, but interestingly, like I wonder if you can't mix every single color. I used to like, I think somebody told me you could, and it was kind of what I believed without questioning it. But lately, because I've been studying color so much, I'm just like, I wonder if there's a limit. And I'm actually going to look into that. And that's one more thing I would like to make a video about. I have so many ideas for videos and just not enough editing time. Editing takes so long. And that's the kind of thing you'd want to make a video about. I don't think I'd want to just like jump onto a live stream. I guess I could jump onto a live stream and info dump. But it wouldn't be well organized, and it might be really hard to listen to. If you were looking for like information and just trying to like, okay, I just want to know this, I think live streams aren't great for that. They're too long. You can put timestamps, I guess. But because I tend to be rambly and go all over, you need that editing. I need that editing to make like a cohesive piece of material that would be informational. This is experiential. We're experiencing something together. These watercolor pencils. Art before housework. Most definitely will check it out. I'm here for the art, creativity, and passion. Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. So tell me art before housework. What kind of art do you like to make? Or what kind of art do you like to see if you don't like making art? I think you already said you did, right? It was Bald Bear that said they are not an artist. Which is probably not true. But, I mean, I think anybody that even wants to make art is an artist. I kind of sometimes feel like all humans are artists, and some of us just don't tap into it. We all have the potential, at least, that's for sure. Look, even that was too long. Like, it just didn't. You really have to get a lot of water on here if you don't want that blotchiness. And it might be with different colors. Because here, it seems like I managed to swatch it out without any lines. But it's very unusual. Here, you can see that I put so much water that there's a bloom. So you have to use a lot of water to not get the line. So yeah, no line. Well, actually, is that a line or is that a bloom? I don't know. But I don't think there's a line, but there is a bloom. Cobalt green. This is one of my favorites, and I would honestly call this turquoise or teal. I'm not sure why they're calling it cobalt green. It may be what it's made out of. Maybe it's made out of cobalt. A lot of times cobalt's not used anymore though. Like they'll try to make the same color as cobalt. I would say that, no, that's not cobalt. What does cobalt look like? I can't remember. This is not it. Obviously this is a green version of cobalt, but that doesn't mean there's cobalt in it. They might just be calling it cobalt. Oh, is that the last one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I think we're missing. That doesn't make sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's 24. I'm not missing any. What happened? I feel like it came with white, but then there's no place for the white to go. It's been quite a while since I used these, so I don't remember. I think I have two. Oh. Oops. First of all, I wish I'd realized this at the beginning. This is not all the colors I think that the set comes in. I swapped out some of the colors because I didn't like them. I bought a few separate colors and I swapped them out. Let me see if I can find them. I believe that they're just right here. It should only take a second if it's true. Okay, most of these are not. They're big, but they're a different brand. They're Faber Castell. Or they're also called Lira. Just need to check something. Something funny happened. Okay, I think we're good. Where else would I keep them if not in here? That's not it. Ah, here's the white. I think I swapped out not just white though. This was a long time ago. I don't remember what color I did. And we can swatch the white, but I think it was this color that I swapped out. It's not that I dislike this color. I just really wanted one other color that was in there. So we'll swatch this one. Luckily, it'll kind of go here really well, which is a crazy coincidence. And we'll be swatching these at a later date, the little ones. Yeah, and I bought two. I already had a white because I like using it to cover. Like I like using it in my watercolor paintings because you can get really specific with it, and it's a little bit heavier than some of the other. It's a little bit heavier weight than a watercolor paint or maybe even gouache, and you can get the accuracy with a pencil that you would with a pencil. I just find pencils are more accurate than paintbrushes a lot of the time. Light ultramarine. Glad I remembered this. That way I can share it with you guys, and we're not just adding it later. Of course, you'd see it, you know, when I do a sketchbook flip through, but it's not the same as getting to see if it does anything weird while we're swatching it. Like, not. Okay, I just like accident, because of the shape that this has been sharpened in, or just because I've already used it a lot, I guess, I just put it really deeply in, and I think that it will not, I think it's in the cracks of the paper and it's not going to re-wet very well. I don't think it's going to activate with the water. Let's see if my hypothesis is true. Let's see. I just think some of it's going to stay at the bottom and it'll look kind of grainy compared to like right here where I didn't do that as much. See if I can leave the edge really wet, and then let's see if I can get it to, did it work? No. Well, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to put some lines down so that we can swatch the white. Just to see how it covers. Not so much to see what a white pencil looks like on almost white paper. I guess this paper is more cream. I should have left a little more room. I'm gonna, at the end of the video, I'm gonna flip this over and check which colors actually came with the set, and I'm gonna point out which one is the intruder. And we might be missing one, because I really feel like I swapped out two. I swapped out the white, and I swapped out some other color. Oh, well, actually, I mean, I guess that's what we have. White and this. Maybe I think I only did two. I think I'm getting confused because I've got this one. But this one I got years before I got the set. So we have to wait for these to dry. So I'm going to actually flip this over now while we're waiting for this to dry. And check out the colors. And, oh, it's not written. Oh, it has the numbers. But I didn't write down the numbers. Okay, well, let's look at this one first. 140. Yeah, so that one's part of the set. And I took it out. And this one is 101. Yeah, so these two are part of the set. And they got taken out. And the intruders are... So we've got 4 blues, 4 greens. So let's see if there's any extra blues or greens. No. Okay, let's see how many reds there are. Red kind of turns into orange. I bet I got another yellow. I bet the one that's in between these two. I wonder if I added a cadmium yellow. Let's see. Let's see what. Let's see which one cadmium yellow is. Which number? 107. Nope, that's there. Okay, 104, 107, 107. 104, 107, and 109. Okay, did it not come with the cream? It didn't come with the cream. That's what I switched out. So this one I switched. This one I bought extra, so we'll take that out. And I want to say it might be Venetian red. Venetian red is 190. Let's see if we can find 190 on this side. Nope, it's there. It's this one. 187, 180. Oh, you know, it's probably the indigo. I just tend to buy indigo in every brand that I get. And you can see how much I use it. So dark indigo is 157. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Okay, so those are the 2 colors I bought extra. So these colors belong in there. Where's the... Oh. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. I don't think I've swatched 26 things, but maybe I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. We haven't done the white yet. What did I miss? What did I miss? What? What? Am I going crazy? Don't answer that, Bald Bear. Okay. I'm so confused. We swatched this one. We're gonna swatch the white in a minute. So what in here did I not do? Okay, so we did cream, we did light yellow, we did cadmium yellow, we did dark chroma yellow, we did dark cadmium orange, we did pale geranium, we did deep scarlet red. I guess I could be counting wrong. We did dark red, we did magenta, we did helio blue, we did ultramarine, we did phthalo blue, we did, now we're going from the bottom here, we did green, copper green, or cobalt green, we did, oh, we missed this one, dark phthalo green. Okay, we did emerald green. Well, you're gonna have to go in a weird place. At least it's dark, kind of like these ones. So we're gonna do dark phthalo green. I always forget how to spell phthalo. Move things so you can see when I swatch it. I feel like I need it to be flatter. Okay, there we go. I love this green. I'm glad we didn't forget it. But really missed out. I think I got it wet enough that it's not gonna, oh no. The paint's moving. The paper's bent, so the paint's moving away from the edge. To keep watercolor without the line, you have to like keep the edge really wet. And if your paper is not in the right position or facing the right direction, that's a lot harder. All right, so we did dark phthalo green, and let's do the white. And you can see it's not really covering even without being activated, but it will change. These, if you notice, these colors get quite a bit darker, or some of them get darker when activated. And I think it's mostly an optical illusion because the white is not showing as much to the page once you've activated it, because it is a solid mass instead of some of the paper showing through, some of the texture of the paper showing through. So once I've activated it, I think it provides more coverage. So I'm just trying to not activate the bottom. And if you really wanted good coverage, you're going to have to probably put several layers, which will be fine. And it's probably not going to get too muddy unless it starts mixing with what's underneath, which can happen. But it's, you know, these are really hard pencils, so it's sometimes really hard to get them to move on a paper when there's too much already. Usually another pencil. The pencil provides quite a bit of texture and depth, I guess, like actual physical material, whereas paint tends to be much thinner and not leave quite as much residue. So when you're using these and you wanted to use white on top, if you're using it on top of regular watercolors, probably will work out fine. If you're using it on top of these other pencils, it may end up being that you have too much going on and stuff's getting picked up a little bit easier. And it also depends if the paint that you're using underneath is staining or not staining. If it's staining, it'll probably stay in the paper and not lift as much. If it isn't staining, then it'll probably lift up and mix with your white pigment, and then your white pigment that you're trying to use to use to do on your highlights, it's probably not going to be as effective. So we're going to give this a minute to dry, and I think I'm going to try to put another layer. Probably not. I think it actually is going to take too long to dry. But for now, let me see. I don't think my camera's set up to do. I don't think I have my system set up to not be showing my face. Let me see if I can finagle that. Let's see. Oh, it is good. What is our most loud color that you'll be able to see this well in? I mean, definitely one of the darker colors. We can try it with the scarlet red. Why not? So I'm soaking the paper here. I'm getting it really wet in 2 different spots. And I'm going to give the water a minute to sink in, like as if you were doing a painting. Once the water sinks in, well, okay, well, it's just still wet. Let me show you. So it'll kind of fly through the water. Let's zoom in. Okay, well, I'm done. I hope that you all enjoyed that. I hope that it was helpful to you to join me on this journey of swatching. I hope that you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the